Hello and welcome to Jewelry Deconstructed. I'm your host Jerry, and today we are going to be talking about how to make a hole in a piece of metal without using power tools. There's a lot of reasons people may want to put holes in metal while making a piece of jewelry uh, without using power tools, and usually it's the aesthetics of the piece, or they just love the process. I do this quite a bit, making something entirely by hand. It makes me feel more connected to jewelers in the past. So uh, let's get on with how to do it. Like I said, very short video. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to make a hole in this piece of 22 gauge, and you can see there's already a few in there, which is very easy to do. Now, first things you want for tools is you want like a vise or a heavy bench block, or a heavy piece of steel, something that's not going to move, and something that will help take the energy of what you're hitting with your tool and let it go through the metal that you're punching versus bouncing everywhere and being transmitted away from what you're doing. So this is a point where you say mass kicks ass, and it's true, because the more mass you have underneath it, the more energy goes directly through your metal that you're cutting, and you do the work a lot more efficiently. So now, when you're using a steel tool, you do not want to cut through your metal onto another steel tool, because what's going to happen if you cut if you cut through the metal and you hit the steel, you're going to damage your work surface and your tool. So you want to make sure that you always have something that's either a cutting plate underneath or a piece of brass. I got some scrap brass. I use these in my vise. They're nice and thick, and we can make sure that I don't damage my tools. Okay. Now you want the edge of your tool to be nice and flat. You don't want a tool like this that's pointed, because what's going to happen is that point will go through your metal first, and then the brass would just mushroom out, and you're going to have a lot to clean up. Now, cutting this way isn't as clean as drilling a hole. You have a little more flash, a little more cleanup, but that's just part of the process. Now, punching something through with a hole is similar to just chiseling, but instead of a long razor sharp edge with a very severe angle, you end up with something that's closer to 90 degrees. This one is a little under because this has a little bit of a angle to it. It's not perfectly flat. You can buy pieces of piano wire and make punches out of those. Okay, so you want to make sure this is flat by rubbing it on a piece of sandpaper that's on the table or a piece of glass. And what you're doing is you're making that bottom very flat, and you're making these edges very sharp, because that's your cutting edge. Just like on the chisel, that's your cutting edge. Okay. Now that's pretty much the tools and stuff. Now, if you're cutting metal, the harder it is, the cleaner it will cut. This is might be half hard. It might be fairly, I can bend it fairly easily for 22 gauge. So I expect this to mushroom a little more. So you want eye protection, you want hearing protection. It should go through one, maybe two strikes, and we'll have the hole done. So, and you don't want your polished hammers. You want something you can hit on steel and not worry about having to clean it up later. So, okay, we have the brass piece here. This is our metal. We're going to put that right there. And then one strike. And see how that's literally jammed in there? So that means that went through very nicely. And we just pull it out and it is not through. So one more time should do it. Well, that worked. And this is why you use eye protection. The tip just broke off of that. Huh, I must not have annealed that or tempered it correctly. So this will get ground down. See, and this is why you have eye protection. But if you look, this is the one we made. There's a little bit of a burr there, a little bit of where it's raised up. Now you can sand that off or you can hammer it back down. I would probably file it off. And let me find one of my finer files here. And there we go. This is one of my junk files, so please excuse how horrible it looks. Let me touch this up. That's a polished bench block, and where's my riveting hammer? I love my little riveting hammer. I use it for a lot of stuff. And there we go. And you can see here. You see that? There we go. Really nice little hole right there. And I can use that to put a saw blade in to saw out. I could use that for a rivet. I use it to hang a bale, all kinds of stuff. So there you go. Lesson on how to put a hole in a piece of metal without a saw or without a drill, and also a little bit of a safety lesson because, hey, always wear eye protection. So I don't know where that bit went. It's somewhere here, but always make sure. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you click like and subscribe down below, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.